Um, so this is a question that I thought I'd throw at you and see what happens, if it sticks, if it's a good question.
Okay.
I'll
put on my glasses to see this one clearly.
What do you think is the main temptation facing the church on the eve of 2022?
The Orthodox Church, or just the church, as known in the creed?
Orthodox Church.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the Orthodox Church. Yep.
So, okay, I'm not weaseling out of your question. Can I answer though? I'll answer both ways.
Whatever comes to mind.
Through doing my work, the number one thing that comes to my mind, there's no challenge to the church. The church has been reconciled. It's not going anywhere. The church exists. The church will exist. Christ's body, as understood, is there's no threat to the church. This whole context is wrong for me. And so I think I know what your question is, but I just wanted to get that and say, nobody should be in fear that the church is in trouble. Now, people who ascribe to its teachings and get baptized, I would say they, as individuals, there's a lot of challenges. So we can talk about that. But the church, what it teaches, Christ's body on earth, we don't have to be afraid. There's no reason. I'm always, are you a defender of the church? Well, that's an odd concept because I'm an adherent. I'm trying to adhere to the church, stay as close as I can. And I'm going to go into the castle, sure. But guess what? The guys on the wall, congratulations. But the walls are enough. Chill out. You don't have to throw a spear at anybody, man. We're inside. It's beautiful. I want to adhere. And sometimes I don't adhere. And that's the biggest danger to the church. But it's not to the church. It's to me vis-a-vis the church. I'm going to kill myself within the tradition. So, but if you mean like in terms of the perception of the world, I do personally think right now there's a test in play. And I think the biggest danger for people in the church who especially have leadership position, the biggest danger is to mistake the teachings of modernity for the teachings of Christ. They're not that close. They don't really go together. Now, whatever form that takes, it's not to say you shouldn't go to college if you're an Orthodox Christian. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a moment when people in the church are easily led astray, I think, right now by, for instance, here's one. I'll give you one. If you think, and this is a big danger of the church or people in the church, if you think that your orthodoxy compels you to support anybody getting elected, red or blue, then we tend to, I don't know why I'm in the South, go red. If you think the red part of our political process is going to in any way be salvific, that is an insanity. That is a danger to the people in the church. But it goes on the other side too. It's whenever we get intertwined, I've learned, for better or worse, there's a priest I love him, is Father Themi in Sierra Leone. So Father Themi Adamopoulos, and he's just an incredible dude. But what you see him do is have a million different very interesting insights when you're sitting at dinner with him about what it is to be a political player in today's world. You never hear this from him when he's anywhere near the church or when he's sitting with people that have come. It's like off limits, just totally off limits. He just sticks right down the center, whatever that center is, the gospel. And I think that's beautiful. But I also think it's beautiful that he shares with us where he's coming from, because we don't live in a void, me and you, Herman. I do participate in the culture that I'm in. So I do have questions about how this all works. That other thing where I, robotically gospel, this isn't good either, because we're all humans. But man, he keeps that moment sacrosanct, and I really, or sacred. I really like that. And so I think the danger is imagining that our politics somehow will make us anything except political. Like, ugh. It's dangerous. I know people out there. Where's the line? How do you know? How do you know? I say I just like sticking to the. I just like to fall on the side of tradition rather than, I feel like when bishops start to think it out, just do it out. Just do the thing that was already done. Thinking it out gets me a little nervous. No?
Yeah. Well,
what do you think?
It's no, it's, I mean, I agree. I think the temptation to conflate political positions and theological positions is really dangerous, and it divides the flock.
Can I add one thing about that? And this, obviously, I'm close to this. I'm related to some folks who are, have platforms, priests on both sides. I'll just say this. We should be able to hear everybody, though. I think you and I had a conversation in advance of this. I don't think we were at odds, but we weren't totally in agreement. I'd like where every place but the pulpit is just a wide open conversation. It's just wide open. You can use political language or you can't. And in the end, I think if people of goodwill come together, then those words are actually for our salvation. They're not a problem. But, egos are tough and people get hurt. And I get it. But as soon as we start to parse sort of what we should say around church people and what we shouldn't, I get really nervous about that. Really, really nervous. Now, again, I do think when a priest is given a homily and he starts to wade into very overtly political ideas, I think that's very, very dangerous. But after that, I think a baptized Christian who's going to church, we should be able to talk about everything. We're experiencing everything, Herman. It's not like I just have so many friends that they're experiencing, for instance, COVID, right? They're experiencing all the realities, their job, they might lose their job. Should I get the shot? And then sort of like the threshold is the church doors. And then, no, I'm not going to talk about that. That's faulty to me, right? The problem is you don't want to. No, yes, maybe.
Well, I mean, I think what you said earlier about Father Themi, he's happy to have a conversation, but not in church, not in the pulpit, but also in a private, intimate setting.
Did years burn out those words? Did a voice whisper absurd? Did your mind comprehend and ask if you'd last till the end? Traded money and lands, family dreams and plans,